This boy lived in a bunker for 35 years. Now he has seen the real world for the first time, and now he is being examined by psychiatrists. Let's start. This story takes place in the United States in the middle of the 20th century. At that time, Americans were deeply afraid of a nuclear attack from the Soviet Union, so many people built underground bunkers for protection. A group of wealthy city residents are having a party. They drink, socialize, and talk about politics. Suddenly, they turn on a serious speech by President Kennedy. From the news, they learn that the Soviet Union is building a missile base in Cuba. The guests panic, quickly end the party, and leave. Only Calvin Weber and his wife, Helen, remain in the house. They rush down into their underground shelter. It turns out that Calvin secretly built this bunker and spent decades working on it. At that very moment, an American fighter jet is flying overhead. The pilot makes a critical error and requests an emergency landing. The engine fails, and the pilot ejects. The uncontrolled aircraft crashes directly into the Weber house. Calvin realizes that something terrible has happened. He is convinced that it was a nuclear attack. He orders his wife not to leave the bunker under any circumstances. The bunker door seals automatically. They are trapped inside. The next day, people arrive at the crash site. They see the destroyed house and assume that Calvin and Helen are dead, since no one knew about the hidden bunker. Helen is devastated by the thought of spending the rest of her life underground. Calvin tries to comfort her. He designed the bunker to feel like a real home, but Helen still feels trapped and lonely. Soon, Helen gives birth to a healthy baby boy. They name him Adam, after the first man. The family slowly adapts to life underground. 1 year passes, and Adam takes his first steps. A few years later, he is already speaking fluently and reading well. Meanwhile, on the surface, life continues. Authorities decide to build a restaurant on the site of the destroyed house. During construction, workers discover a strange metal structure underground, but they assume it's hazardous debris and leave it untouched. The restaurant opens and becomes very popular. Down in the bunker, Adam grows up. His parents teach him everything they can. He learns boxing, dancing, languages like French and Latin, and even about money and society. Still, he feels isolated. Years pass. On his birthday, Adam receives a new blazer and a belt. But he admits that his greatest wish is to meet a girl. His father reassures him. According to the bunker system, they will be able to leave in 2 years. By then, Adam might finally meet someone. Assuming people haven't become mutants. 35 years pass since the crash. The bunker door finally unlocks. Calvin and Helen rush to the entrance. Freedom is just outside, but they decide to wait until midnight, just to be safe. On the surface, the area has changed completely. Homeless people gather around the bar, drinking and fighting. Suddenly, the ground opens. Calvin emerges from the bunker wearing protective gear and holding a flashlight. A homeless man watches him in shock. Calvin looks around and realizes his house is gone. He walks through the streets, trying to understand what happened over the past 35 years. Everything feels strange and unfamiliar to him. He sees crime, chaos, and things he doesn't understand, especially modern adult entertainment. To him, it all seems like madness. Calvin returns to the bunker and tells his family that the outside world is ruined. He believes people have become mutants and insists they should stay underground. Helen refuses. She wants Adam to finally experience life, sunlight, and the ocean. During the argument, Calvin suffers a heart attack. Adam decides to go to the surface himself. He needs to restock food and medical supplies. His mother gives him money and explains where to shop. His father warns him to stay away from certain stores, especially ones related to adult products, because he misunderstands them completely. Adam steps outside. For the first time in his life, he sees sunlight, cars, and crowds of people. He is amazed by everything. He takes a bus for the first time and tries to buy a ticket to a supermarket. At the store, he realizes prices have increased dramatically over the decades. He doesn't have enough money. To solve this, Adam decides to sell his father's baseball card collection. A shop owner tries to cheat him and offers only $500 for the entire collection. But a young woman named Eve steps in and tells Adam the cards are worth much more. They leave together. At first, Eve thinks Adam is strange and tries to distance herself. But Adam offers her one of the valuable cards if she helps him. She agrees. They go to a hotel, where Adam rents a room on a high floor. He is amazed by the height and the view. Later, Eve calls him and insists on returning the valuable card because she feels guilty. Adam hires Eve as his assistant. Her job is to sell the baseball cards and help him buy supplies. They rent a truck in a warehouse, filling it with goods that could last for years. Adam gives Eve a new task. He asks her to help him find a wife within 2 weeks. Eve has no idea how to do this. They visit Eve's home and meet her ex-boyfriend, Troy. Adam behaves so unusually that everyone becomes suspicious. They eat sushi and drink beer together. Troy tries to figure out who Adam really is, but Adam avoids answering. Meanwhile, back in the bunker, Helen has a breakdown and goes up to the surface. She frightens the same homeless man again, who now believes something supernatural is happening. She quickly returns underground. Adam buys Eve new clothes and earrings. He takes her to the ocean. For the first time in his life, he sees the sea and runs into the water like a child. He experiences rain for the first time as well, overwhelmed with emotion. Eve begins to realize that Adam might not be crazy after all, just completely different. They go to a nightclub with Troy. There, Adam meets a beautiful woman named Sophie. They speak French together and connect instantly. Eve becomes jealous. Adam tries to find a wife among the women at the club. He dances confidently, impressing everyone. Eve grows increasingly upset. Adam tries to express his feelings to Eve, but the situation becomes chaotic. A fight breaks out. Eve leaves the club in anger. Troy tells her that Adam left with Sophie. At that moment, Troy realizes the truth. Eve is in love with Adam. Eve rushes out to find him. But Adam returns unexpectedly. They argue, then reconcile, and finally kiss. Adam tries to explain his life story, but it sounds unbelievable. Eve panics again and becomes convinced he is mentally unstable. She throws him out. The next morning, Adam returns. This time, social workers are there. Eve reported him, believing he needed psychiatric help. They try to take him away. But Adam escapes, steals a vehicle, and drives off. Meanwhile, Eve begins to feel guilty. She goes to Adam's hotel room with Troy. There, she finds objects from the 1960s and realizes Adam was telling the truth. Some items are now worth millions. With Troy's help, she finds the entrance to the bunker. Above it is an adult shop. Below it is Adam's hidden world. Eve reaches Adam just in time before he goes back underground. She runs to him, stops him, and kisses him. They go down together. Adam reunites with his parents and shows them his love. He says he will return in 2 months, because he now has things to do in the outside world. Thanks to the now valuable items he owns, Adam becomes incredibly wealthy. He buys a luxurious house and a red convertible. He plans to move his parents into their new life. At first, he hides the truth from them. But eventually, he tells his father that there was never a nuclear attack. The Soviet Union has already collapsed. Calvin is overjoyed. Everything he feared is gone. Helen, however, remains quiet, taking it all in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.